في أكبر الكتب.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to your weekly dose of truth tarot with me, Terry-Ann. And what we're going to do today is somebody asked me, what's going on with relationships and dating and etc. So it's definitely a new world out there for dating, especially since people are less connected. There's a combination of dating online and using apps versus the old days. You know, when we went out and actually met people, we actually knew people. People knew the people we were dating and they could vouch for them. We knew what was going on. Whereas now it's complete random strangers. So there's that part. And then there's also COVID came in the mix, which isolated us as well. And a lot more people work at home, so you don't get out and about. All right, so let's see. I mean, those are some of the things this person was complaining about, just kind of saying, oh, you know, I don't like it. What do I do? And I said, okay, let's do a review in the tarot this week. So let's go. What's the first thing we need to know? All right, so first thing we need to know is Nine of Wands. So here we've got a maximum amount of pressure, maximum amount. I'm having a little trouble with my mouth today. Don't know what's going on. Maybe I haven't spoken enough. So, maximum amount of pressure that we're going to have to go through to be able to really have the strength, fortitude, will to create new ways of meeting people. Now you can see this guy's even alone, right? We're talking about relationship here, and here's this guy. It doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. It's just talking about human being out there all alone. And there's all these butterflies. And butterflies always talk about, and of course the whole deck is covered in butterflies. So I never thought of using them or never, can't say thought, but intuitively they were not drawing me in any of the readings that I've done so far. But here, it's as though we're looking for, or people who are dating are looking for some kind of fantasy. So let's see, what else can you elaborate cards on this card? Let's see, what do we need to do? So here, interestingly enough, we've got, I'm going to let this card be seen a little bit better here. We've got the Emperor. And, you know, this can either tell us you can't just be sitting up on your throne waiting, and nor can you, you know, just kind of think, well, there's no use. What you have to do is to actually get up and become the emperor of your own life. Now, that doesn't mean anything super extra special, like you have to go and create this massive empire. No. Emperor of your own life is that you have all kind of your bases covered, that you're responsible. So if you think about what would a really the ideal. So I work with the ideal here. And of course, we're never going to meet the ideal, but we're always striving towards the ideal. So let's say the emperor would have the ideal view of being able to relate to other people, for sure. It's because he's running an empire, and he's able to, if he's a good emperor, we're not talking about a bad ruler, we're talking about the ideal. So he's able to talk to the lowliest peasant, let's say, to the most noble man or woman and another empire. He's able to engage with anyone in the ideal. So that lets us know, okay, let's strive to be able to talk to anyone. Doesn't mean you're going to live with anyone, does not mean you're going to date just anyone, but you should be able, I'm using the word should, and it's not my favorite word, but let's use it loosely. You would be able to communicate with all types of people, so that your mind, your body, your expressions, your attitudes, your behaviors are all basically emperor-like or royal or noble, right? There's a nobility to this. There's a place in which, okay, I become the emperor. I'm able to communicate. I'm able to rule whatever you're ruling. If you have a job at McDonald's, you rule in your job. That means you're the best at your job. You are responsible. You are covering all the tasks. I don't mean pressuring only, but it does say we have to use our strength to work through the pressures. I don't mean it like that. I mean it as admirable, something you like to do, that whatever role you take on in your life, you rule in that role. And I don't just mean you're ruling anybody else. You're doing the best. You're doing the top job. It's like, yeah, I'm great at this. All I do, let's say I'm in a factory lineup, and all I do is inspect a right sock. Well, I'm going to do my job to the best. That means as far as, and I worked in a factory for 10 years, so I know what a factory is like. I know how it operates, and I took pride in everything that I was doing in the factory. And especially, inspecting things, taking care of things, making sure production was working really well. Loved every minute of it, every single minute of it. So when you're doing something in your life, you need to rule in that something. That makes you the best candidate. Now, I don't care, you're man, woman, whoever you are out there, we all need to be doing this, no matter what our little moment is in life. And I'm not talking about every second. And don't take this to an extreme where, oh, but I don't feel well today, so I didn't do it the way I did it yesterday. No, you don't compare to yesterday. You compare to the best that you can do in any given moment. So let's say 5 years ago, I was ill and I was unable to do anything, but now I'm ill and I've learned how to take care of myself better and I get better quicker, but I do absolutely what is necessary that takes into consideration whatever cold I have or illness or difficulty. So I'm talking about ruling in your world. That means, along with that, is responsibility. So you are responsible for your emotions, you're responsible for your behavior, you're responsible for your health. You might not be the cause of your ill health, but you are responsible for it. You're responsible for your position at work. You're responsible for loving your work as much as you are responsible for hating your work. People go, I hate my job, it's really boring. Well, this card is great. Improve yourself and move forward. So it's talking about dating. Let's see. Maybe we're going to have to do a few more cards. What else do you recommend? Okay, so here, recommendation is the sun. So these things need to show in the world. So the sun is all about manifesting. Now this guy's super relaxed. You don't have to run around. Once you've done these things, the sun will shine and you will shine. And we know how lovely the sun is, and most of us are drawn out into the sun. I'm not saying 100% of the time, but especially after, a long winter and the sun comes out, we love to be drawn out into the sun. Now, people who live in the south and the sun's out every day, you might not be drawn to lay in the sun, but you are drawn to wake up, to do something, to look outside, to look at the flowers, take care of something in your garden. So the sun draws us. So the sun is part of what manifests. So that is going to, you can see all of this is telling you, if you're doing some of these things, getting the strength to get over your difficulties, rule in your position, whatever position that is. You're a dishwasher, you rule. You do the best job, right? And here you will manifest what you want. Now I'm using job, but it is important that it is job. It is everything that you do, because that is also what is part of your relationship. Dating, interestingly enough, it's not talking about frivolous dating here, is it? It's not talking about, oh, like just go on a date and look pretty and look handsome and, mind your P's and Q's, etc. It's not telling you that. It's talking a lot more about you as a human being in your entire life and what you are manifesting is going on that date. So, what do we need to know? Anything else for today? I think we'll stop at the fourth card. And the last thing we need to know is the Chariot. Well, get a move on. So now you have to manifest by movement. So all of this needs to go and shine, and then you're going to get a move on. So this move on, we could say, oh, is it about getting aligned? Is it about being in the real world? I think it's about being a little bit more combination. So let's see. Online, real world, combination. Okay, so here we go. You're getting a move on. Here's online. You're going to have a greater abundance of ability to meet people if you're online. Okay, but that doesn't mean just dating apps. That means groups. That means like-minded people. That is, like, let's say you watch Carl Jung videos and you find there's a group around you and you can engage with those people, because just going out to meet people is kind of weird now, maybe you could go to bars, but Eight of Wands says, well, you might have a little bit of difficulty there. There might be some not really interference. That's more, it feels like interference, like intuitively I'm just going, oh, it's like interference or indolence, but it's more like it'll go to, this card is actually swiftness, but I'm trying to interpret it in a way that's going to go for dating, which means that if you're going out in the world, it might be too quick. Like you can't necessarily meet someone at a bar and get to know them. You can't necessarily meet someone in a grocery lineup. Life is very fast right now, so you need time. So it's interesting it's telling us online. But the combination is going to give you the best. Now, obviously, you can meet someone online, join a group that or maybe you create the group and then you could actually meet the person. And you have to have, obviously, proximity. Okay, so there's some ideas. I know they might not be the best because we're working very generally here, because it is the entire world that is possibly looking at this. I don't focus on one group of people. Well, I'm focusing on a group of people that are dating, not people like me who are in relationships, but people who are not in relationships. Okay, so enjoy that, everyone. Have a great week, and I'll see you next week.